How did you get your disability?
Whenever I'm asked that question, I like to run through with people to begin with all of the random reasons that I could have lost my leg. You know, like shark attack, things like that. But actually, probably the way I lost it is weirder. I was born with no lower leg bones and my foot upside down growing out of my knee. So I lost it when I was 12 months old, but was walking on a prosthetic leg by 18 months. And I had a little straight leg to begin with. And I've still got it, and it's tiny, tiny, tiny.
What do you do for work?
I am currently working as a bar manager, which often seems ridiculous because it's such an active job. But I always seem to put myself in really active roles. I think it's just to push myself a little bit more.
What is the most enjoyable part of your job?
I love the social aspect of it. Being able to be somewhere where you feel really comfortable. It feels like a second home. I've come from like small communities, like villages, and everybody knows everybody, so it's just really nice to be able to go to work, but also see all the people you know and have a good time with it. Like, I'm always looking forward to going to work rather than dreading it, which is what keeps me doing it.
What is your favourite thing to do in your spare time?
I go to a lot of gigs and festivals. Really arty. I make jewellery as well. Really like swimming. I've just got a lot of interests. Bit of a jack of all trades, master of none with that.
Are you comfortable with the term disability, or do you use another term?
I always get really excited when people off the bat say differently abled. I think it's just such small changes in language that completely change people's viewpoint on it from the beginning. Like, disabled seems just like it's immediately got negative connotations, but differently abled, which is what it is just so much more fitting, because I wouldn't call myself disabled at all. In fact, for people that have severe disabilities, I think it's a bit, I don't know, wrong to say that I'm like disabled, because I'm not really, particularly.
Has living with your amputation taught you anything that otherwise you wouldn't have learned?
It took a while to get there, probably patience and understanding for other people's worldviews. Just because somebody hasn't had or has like a very narrow-minded worldview doesn't mean that they can't change. And instead of just being annoyed at them off the bat, you should take the time to try and explain to them and to try and change their mind, because all we can do is educate people on how to be better.
How do you find living and working with your amputation?
People ask me all the time if I would change it if I had a chance. And when I was younger, I probably would have said yes. But now I wouldn't, not in a million years. You know, it makes me who I am, and I'm really proud of the person that it's made me. It's a lot to deal with. I think the hardest thing about it is people not understanding that disability fluctuates and changes. Like, something I can do one day might not be something I can do another day. And I need to tell myself that as well, because if I'm not able to do something, I get immediately really cross at myself and really stressed, and that can really affect your mental health.
How did you find school life?
Oh, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Nobody really understood me or my disability. And I was a bit of a weird kid anyway, like separate from the disability. It took me ages to really find my place in school, and I don't even think, even at the end of school, I really found my place. So I used to just, you know, not really go in or misbehave or whatever. And I was quite mean, looking back at it, to be honest with you. By the end of it, I was quite, you know, rude. I have so many people come up to me now from school that I see, and they apologise to me for how I was treated in school, and it's like, I actually feel like I owe you an apology back, because just because, you know, being treated differently doesn't mean you have an excuse to be what you might consider a bully yourself, to be honest with you. And it's not going to do anything to change people's opinion of you positively. It's only going to make it worse. And so now I just try and kill them with kindness, to be honest with you, whenever there's anybody rude.
What can schools or workplaces do to make an environment more inclusive and accessible?
Listen and ask, I think. You know, everybody's disability is different. And just small touches to make sure children and, well, adults in the workplace feel welcome. Like, disabled toilets often are really scruffy because they are forgotten about, like, by everybody. And it's just nice to not feel like an afterthought. Like, if somebody comes up and asks me what they can do to make me more comfortable, immediately puts me on the right kind of footing, so to speak.
Are there any stereotypes about your disability that you'd like to change?
I mean, the word stereotype just isn't nice, is it? There's not really, when you think of the word stereotype, it's never really in a positive aspect. So shouldn't talk to somebody with a pre-thought out idea of what they are from what you've heard and are quite ignorant to. Like, you should take it from them. Like, you should understand it from them and go in there and meeting somebody and have it just be a blank slate.
Has anyone ever misjudged your abilities because of your disability?
Yeah, I'd gone on holiday and climbed up to this cliff, and at the top, people clapped me. It was so embarrassing. It's like, you wouldn't do that to anybody else. It's like, I understand, but it's just really cringeworthy. It's not what you want, and it just is a constant reminder. It's like, oh yeah, I am different.
What can others do to make society more inclusive?
Representation is really important because we take in what we see, and most of what we see is through television. And I think that even now, like, it's getting better. Like, since I started doing this, the parts that we have, like, are offered are definitely more numerable. However, I think that still, for disability, too much attention is put on their disability. And there should be characters that just have disabilities, like a character that just has a hearing aid, or a character that is blind, or a character with one leg, but the attention isn't put on their disability. It shouldn't be always be the highlight, basically. Because even still now, we have so many roles, but so many of them, they want you to be in a wheelchair because it's a really explainable disability. And it's really obvious, and it's what people know. But the only way that people will know any different is if we push it further and make it happen ourselves.
What has your disability inspired and enabled you to do?
I think when you have something different about you, you feel the need to not just level with your peers, is to try and push yourself further. Like, you always want to do the most. It's always made me really, really want to try everything and see what I can do. And sometimes it's like, wow, this is an absolute fail. But because of that, you've got to also take it all in your stride.